be starting the demo very shortly. Just sit back, relax, listen to these sounds for another minute or so while we get a couple of things ready. Let me know that you are new. If you guys have questions, please do make sure to put a Q with a colon in front of it, and that lets us know that it's a question. Then I'll be able to find that and add that to the queue. Hence the Q. All right, let's do this. What's going on? Hey. Good to see you all here. Let me just open up one more thing here. Welcome everybody, come on, join on in. Welcome. Hey y'all, welcome to the Ecamm Live demo. You guys are going to be in for a treat today. My name is Daniel. I've been a long time user of Ecamm Live for a long time. And I got to tell you, this is the #1 live streaming application for Mac. And if you're a Windows user, I got to say, might be a good time to get a Mac and start using Ecamm Live. If you guys want a free trial, go ahead and maybe the moderators can throw a link inside of the chat. If you guys want a free trial to Ecamm Live, try it out. Try all the bells and whistles. Start playing with it. Start, practicing some of the things I'm going to be showing you today. So this is really, it's like we're going to learn how to use Ecamm Live. We're going to talk about some of the features and the benefits to it. Now, if y'all have been using other pieces of software, that's great. That's awesome. I got to tell you though, Ecamm Live has been the software application that I've found that most users were able to figure out how to use and use the power features in such a short period of time. All right, Luis, thank you. That's right. Remember, hit the thumbs up. Guys, if this is your first time to Ecamm Live, to the Ecamm network, this is one of the first videos. I do hope that I'm going to do some serious good justice to y'all. And so much so that y'all hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, because I know that Ecamm Live, this is just, some of these demos, it's just some of the stuff that we provide to all of our new users, our fans, well as the people who are trying to think about whether or not they should actually use Ecamm Live. They kind of want to see like, I wonder what some of those features are. Well, I'm going to show you those features today. So I really want to start to go from some of the basics, and I'm going to go module by module or feature by feature. Sounds good? But before I get cracking on that, let me just say hi to a few people. Eden, my BFF, Eden, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Simply Obs, there y'all go. Emily, Andy. Oh, this is great. Andy, he's always 10 minutes just before I am in responding to the Ecamm Live community. That was just it was a little bit of a joke that I had put on a few days ago. Literally, I was just answering, I'm like, oh, Andy's messaged it. So anyway, cool stuff. By the way, the Ecamm Live community, if you guys are not in the Ecamm Facebook community, go ahead and join that. Just, go to facebook.com/group/Ecamm Live, or just go to facebook.com and search Ecamm Live on there. Just take a look at the community, join the community, find out what other people are doing with their Ecamm software, what kind of productions they're doing. Ecamm is great not only for your own live streams, but little known fact, it's really good for recording content on the fly. Like literally, it's live to drive. So if you're not a streamer, that's okay. Ecamm Live is more than just a live streaming application. You can go live to drive. That is, you could literally have your camera and your scenes and your overlays already set up and then hit the record button and then run through those in real time And all of a sudden, you've got a finalized product that you can go ahead and upload to any YouTube, to any platform that you use. If you are, sending Instagram Reels and you want to do vertical videos, Ecamm Live allows you to do that, whether it's going to be live streamed or recorded as well. So I got to tell you, there are a lot of cool things that Ecamm Live can do that a lot of people don't know about, and it's getting better every single day. So join us in the community in Facebook. If y'all have any questions before you get started with Ecamm Live, you can go ahead and post that inside of the community. Or if you've already started, maybe you're on a trial, maybe you're on a paid subscription, go ahead and ask those questions as well. There are a lot of us in that community who are active on a daily basis, and we just love our Ecamm fam and welcome everybody with open arms. All right, let's get cracking on some of this. I want to start off with the general interface on Ecamm Live. Actually, let me reset this because I arrange my windows in a certain way, and if I reset this, then it's going to look like how it looks like on your computer. Okay, let's go to demo mode. Okay, so this is the Ecamm Live interface. It comes in different window panels or panes, and however you want to refer to it. And each one of these different panes that you see on the screen do different things. Let me just open up this fancy mouse so you can actually see it. Each of these panes do different things, have different features inside of the software. As you can see in this middle area where you see my gorgeous face, this is the preview window. This preview window allows you to see what's going on inside of Ecamm, and essentially, when you see I move my mouse over, it shows you a lot of information that you need in order to start creating scenes, in order to manage and create additional or open windows and things like that. So you can see here, I've got the time that I've been live. I've been going live for 7 minutes. I've been rambling for 7 minutes now. I am live. We've got a section up here in the top where I can choose a different kind of scene type. So this scene you see right now is a camera. Therefore, this little section here is highlighted yet white, and it's the camera. You can see the middle section here looks like a screen. That's actually the screen share feature. And then on the right side, in the right third icon in the center here, looks like a little video reel. That allows you to play videos here. I'm looking at the poll. How long have you been using Ecamm Live? Ooh, look at that. 56% of y'all been using it for more than a year. 11% have been using it between 1 and 3 months. Well, welcome, all new users. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know, what are some of the coolest features that you found that Ecamm Live can do? Things that have leveled up your streams, things that have leveled up your recordings. Let me know. Pop that into the comments. I want to see what y'all are doing with this thing. Let me get back to what I'm talking about. The third icon here is basically allows you to play videos. So if you are, let's say you are doing a stream or a recording and there is a video portion or segment that you want to play, you can go ahead and use that feature, and it allows you to select that video and then play it as if it were the live stream. On the right section here, you can see I've got 17 people who are watching this live, and I've got 4 thumbs up so far. If y'all want to give me a little bit more thumbs up, that would be really great. That would be really appreciated. It helps me to know that I'm on the right track, that I'm providing you guys with good and valuable information. On the right side of the preview window are different buttons, and these buttons allow you to open and close different panels that you may have moved or closed already. It allows you to open up those things. Settings button and so forth. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever just did that. Appreciate it. On the bottom right section, this is the finish button. This also is, it changes depending upon what status is happening inside of Ecamm Live. The section right here that keeps popping up every time I move my mouse over this main preview window, this is your camera switcher. There's actually another window for the camera switcher, and I'm gonna get to that in a couple of seconds. But this section allows you to quickly and easily change the camera source for this specific scene. On the bottom left side, this is another button that allows you to view chat, and then over here is preview mode. Now, preview mode I would say is something that some users can do. I would probably say that maybe when you get to the mid-level or maybe the advanced side, and I'm not saying you got to be the guru of all gurus to start using this preview function, but even I have made a few mistakes going into preview mode and forgetting that I'm in preview mode, and I think I'm making changes. But I'm going to go over that in a little bit more detail. And yeah, and then all the other little sections over here allows you to see what kind of features you have enabled. So this is the NDI video out, which is basically like a network feed of this video broadcast going out through my local network and so forth. A little bit more of advanced features. I just want to get you to the basics of what's going on. I've got a little side camera going on. Woo, hey. Now, what I had mentioned about scenes, this is essentially the most important part, and I believe, of Ecamm Live. And you can see that over here in this box here. This is the scenes. So think of scenes like different baskets or different presentations that you're showing. And inside of the basket or that presentation are all of your assets. So it's like the fruits in the basket. So you can choose to show bananas, you can choose to show apples, or you can choose to show, stuffed monkeys. Like it doesn't matter what you do, but that's basically the presentation of what's being shown inside of Ecamm Live. So you know that if you have different formats of what you want to show your audience, whether it's a recorded video or a live stream, you're going to create all of those scenes ahead of time. And so that window and the possibility is over here. So if I go to the plus sign, I can go ahead and create a new scene, and I can call this my side camera. Now that it's selected and you can see the white box around it, I can go ahead and choose the side camera. And watch this, don't miss this. If you click on this first scene, it goes to the front camera, and then the side camera, and then the front camera. So if I know that those are two scenes that I want to create or show my audience, that's what you're going to use. You're going to use the different scenes, okay? So you can have literally an unlimited amount of scenes, but this is something that you want to do. Anybody who is new to streaming or recording or Ecamm Live, I want you to think in your mind, what are all the different views that you want your audience to see? Because those views are what's going to be configured in each and every single one of these scenes. So if I know, as an example, that I only want to show two different views, I just want to show this main camera with the emphasis of the side camera, so I can do this whiplash neck thing, right? Then I can do that, and then I can swing my head back. Then those are the only two scenes. But what if I wanted more? What if I wanted an overlay of a web page, for example? Well, that's now what is over here in the overlays window. So remember I was talking about scenes being kind of like the basket, the main basket? Well, your overlays are all those fruits that go inside of that basket. And there are different kinds of fruits, or now let's call them overlays, truly overlays. There are different kinds of overlays that are available for you to make appear inside of the scene. So if I've got this first scene showing, which just basically, I'm going to rename that, it says front. If I'm just showing the front, I can add different overlays. Let me just clear some of these other things here, just because I want to start from scratch. All right, there we go. We got all the overlays now removed. So this is literally like a fresh new profile for here. All right, so actually, before I do that, let me just scan to see y'all can hear my dog bark. Any questions? Any cue? Is there any cue? There are no cues. Okay, good stuff. I'm doing all right, I think. There's no questions answered or quite asked so far. All right, so in the overlays panel, we have three sections. There is who's got a dog? If you got a dog, put a dog emoji in the comments. I'd love to know how many people of you have pets. You've got show in all scenes, you've got show in current scene, and you've got show in the background. These are three important areas for you to understand what kind of dog is that we hear. It is a toy/miniature poodle. He's cute as a button, soft and furry, but barks, unfortunately. These three different areas in your overlays allows you to control what assets or where these assets go. And so, for example, if I put something in show in all scenes, no matter which scene I choose, whether it's the front or the side camera, that is always going to appear. So that could be something like a logo. So if you know that you want to put a little logo in the top right corner of your video, you can take your graphic file and you can go ahead and either drag it from the Finder window into this overlays panel, or you can go ahead and click on this little button over here, which is essentially the add a graphic image. It's this little guy right there. And that will open up the Finder window and allow you to locate that digital graphic, that PNG, the GIF file, or a JPEG file, and it allows you to add that to your system here. If you only want those assets to show in this scene only, so that, for example, if I move to the side, you want that graphic to go away, then what you're going to do is you're going to put that area, that graphic file or that overlay into show in current scene. And then show in background, what does that mean? Show in the background for all of your scenes. And this is utilized for things like, if you're not using full screen cameras as you see right now, like if you want to just do overlay or boxes and you can have a different kind of an image or a video that's looping in the background. If that's your creative style, you can have that. And that would go in your show in background scene folder inside or section inside of the overlays panel. That's who we got a question here. Got my first question. Honest Accomplice, at some point, can you show the new text placeholder overlay? Yeah, for sure. Let's go into that. That's actually something that's pretty new. So let's dive into it after, okay? When we get into the different types of overlays. So let me just do something here. I want to grab a file. Okay. Just drag and drop your image onto the file canvas. That's absolutely right, Andy. You can do that as well. And when you do drag something directly onto the canvas or the preview window where my face was, that will allow you, or that will move that product directly into the current scene. Oh, sorry. Yeah, current scene section inside of the overlays. And all of a sudden, my Finder window is having some issues. Sorry, folks. Let me just go back to this. Where's my resources? Probably should have prepped a little bit better. Okay. All right. I can't find that right now, so we're going to have to grab something after. Oh, darn. Okay. Anyway, I'll work on that. Okay, so we're back to the full Ecamm Live. Correct, Andy, unless it's locked, then it's going to go to your all scenes. Okay, so we have the different kinds of overlays. So there's an additional overlay type here, which is basically called an animated overlay. So this is, when you click on this, it allows you to add some video-based graphics that will be moving on your display. Here is a screen share overlay. So if I click on that, it allows me to, so for example, you can see here, it's showing the actual laptop display. I can change this to another display, and this one is showing the Ecamm Live website. So remember I was talking about, if I'm going through a website or things like that, you can add it this way. And we can also add through widgets, and I'm going to show that in a couple of seconds. That's this kind of an overlay. If you want text overlays, you can go ahead and add that and say, hey, this is an Ecamm demo. And you can add that, and that actually shows up in real time on the broadcast. So because I'm not using preview mode, you can see here that you've got that text at the bottom here. That's because it's in real time. And if I go back out of this demo mode, you can see the text is floating. It's because everything that I do in real time in this preview window, it's actually right now, it's the preview and program window. And so that's where things kind of get a little bit confusing. But just in case, let me jump into that right now. I would say, again, this is kind of like after you've become well accustomed to it. Now that I've got this overlay showing, I want to show you what preview mode is. It opens up another window, and this one is the program window. You can see right now, they both look the same. Granted, the different size, I just resized it differently, but they both have the exact same content. And so if I move this here, oh, wait a second, what happened? It didn't move, and that's because I'm in preview mode. You see here at the top section here, preview mode. It means that anything that I do inside of this preview window will not show or will not change the actual program itself. There's a lot of cool reasons why we would use this. One is to make sure that you're actually switching to the scene that you want to switch to. Second reason is maybe you need to make a change that you don't want to show in real time. You want to make a change before you actually publish that. So let's say, for example, hey, this is an Ecamm demo, and I wanted 3 exclamation marks instead of 1. So instead of me going and changing it and then in real time it switches, I can go here and I can add this, and you'll see there's 3 exclamations here, but only 1 exclamation here. I can go ahead and hit publish. And then watch this down here. You'll see it automatically updates with the 3. So that's really what preview mode does. It actually allows me to make changes before they go published to the live stream or your recording. You can see here, I've got the side camera on in the preview area, but the program or the actual live stream broadcast is still the front camera. So what I would have to do to make this switch is go ahead and hit publish, and then all of a sudden you can see the bottom screen here, the program window will update. So as I said, this can be sometimes a little bit confusing, and sometimes if I'm not paying attention, I'm thinking I'm moving this over to the top right section and, saying, yeah, look, this is the Ecamm demo, but really, you can see down here, it's not there until I hit the publish button. So this is what preview mode is. This is a huge, huge godsend for remote producers. So if you are producing content for your clients in that you are not in the actual video itself, or maybe you are actually in the video, but you have other guests coming in on board. This preview mode has definitely helped in terms of being able to make changes on the fly without that being published live. So if you're a remote producer, go ahead and let me know. Just say remote producer in the chat here. I'd love to see who's doing remote productions in here. Eden says, nah, it's live. This is how we roll. We don't like polished. That's how we have to do it nowadays sometimes. When you do live streams, you realize that sometimes we're just going to make some mistakes and we just got to roll with it, right? Now, if you want to go out of preview mode and you're just like, listen, I'm just going to roll with it and whatever happens, happens, you can go ahead and hit this bottom left button here, and it's called back to live mode. Honest accomplished remote producer, thumbs up. Hey, Luis, thumbs up, remote producer. Just go ahead and hit live mode. You can publish any changes. You can see that I got rid of that text overlay and it's over here. So if I hit publish, it's going to now update that program window. Now they're both synchronized because I'm now out of preview mode. So anything that I do to this main section, you can see I'm just making the text overlay appear and hide. Okay, so they're both going to show up at the same time. So that's your preview mode in a nutshell. All right. Ooh, some desserts happening from Doc. Doc brought ice cream because he was late. But thanks for joining us. Hey, this is awesome. We got 11 thumbs up. I appreciate y'all. So that's basically some of the other features, some of the overlay types. I'm just going to go through the rest. This one here is I would say it's an essential for anybody who's doing live streams. This is basically the countdown timer. The countdown timer is great for you to prep your audience. Right? If you do live streams, let me know if you do live streams. I know I'm asking a lot of y'all. I know I get it. I'm sorry. I just have people, I just want to integrate and just be really interactive with everybody. If you do live streams, have done live streams, or want to do live streams, let me know. Just saying, live streams in the comments in the chat there. Because this countdown feature is really going to be beneficial. Now, what it is exactly what I said. It's a countdown. So it's a timer that counts from wherever minutes or seconds that you want it to, and then goes down to 0. And you can do a couple of things that happens when it hits 0. But right now, by default, I've got 10 minutes. But let's say, on my next live stream, I want a 5-minute countdown. So you're just going to go ahead and type in there 5 minutes. And you can change the font. You can go ahead and say if it's DIDOT or Futura, or Geneva, whatever fonts you have on your system, you can utilize them in Ecamm Live. If there are new fonts that you want to use, you can go ahead and add that into your font book on your Mac, and they'll show up inside of Ecamm Live. So if you have these really custom, cool, funky graffiti fonts, you can use that in your production, and it just shows up natively in Ecamm Live on your, in your countdown or on your text overlays. So let's just say I want a 5-minute countdown, and I'm using that fancy clock font right there. I can go ahead and drag the side or the corner to resize it, and I can do something like that. And let's say I can do some camera effects afterwards. I'm going to show that afterwards as well. But so you can start your live streams 5 minutes early. So today we started at 2 p.m. Eastern, but I can go live at 1:55 Eastern, play this countdown, and do a couple of things. One is I can play some music just like I did today's live stream. Or I could have a video playing where it could be like a show reel of who is going to be coming up next, or about me, or a different commercial, maybe a sponsor, whatever that is. But you can show that in your live stream with this countdown. And one of the nice little extra features that exists on this is this button right here, this little checkbox. Go to next scene when finished. So this is really, really great because I don't have to click a button or press on Ecamm Live in the scenes window to change to the next scene. I can simply just select this, and when this countdown timer hits 0, it will automatically move to the next scene. So that's just a little bit of an extra cool little thing. I can make this countdown timer do different types of things where they fly in from the side whenever this scene comes up. You can do that with pretty much any text overlay, actually. And then there's also different kinds of timers as well. You see here, I've chose a fixed timer, but what I started doing recently is sometimes I don't start exactly on time. Again, today's live stream started at 2 p.m. Eastern. Well, what if I chose a 10-minute countdown and I was supposed to go live at 1:50, but I was a little bit delayed because I had to grab some water or something like that, and I didn't start until 9 minutes to the hour. Well, if my clock or countdown timer is 10 minutes, I'm really not going to be able to start my live stream until 2:01. So what you can do is you can set a time to the date and the time. And so today is the 21st and it's now 2:30. So if I know, let's say, for example, I want to start at 2:45, it's going to know exactly how many minutes and seconds are going to exist until 2:45. So this can be used for a countdown timer. If you have a live stream and you have a special deal going on, and you've got your shopping cart timed so that the 50% discount on your product or your service or your course or your program expires at 2:45 p.m. Eastern, you can use this countdown live on your broadcasts, and you can add this text overlay. So deal ends in ... And you can basically talk about it, and just talk about that product, talk about that special, talk about that sale. And you can say, guys, we only have 17 minutes and 18 seconds remaining for this deal. So go ahead. Like, can you imagine the amount of FOMO that produces, the fear of missing out? That really, honestly, something like this kind of a clock allows people, if you're doing a live sale, it really gets your audience thinking, do I want that? I think I want that. And it can produce additional sales. So these countdown timers are not just for, pre-live stream sessions or pre-live stream starts. It's not just for that. You can use it for many cool things. Dr. Daniel's amazing. I can retire now. Bro, go. Just retire. Just retire on the beach. It's all good. I'll see you in a couple weeks then. All right, cute. Anita says, for novice live stream, what are the top 3 features do you recommend I get most familiar with? For a novice live stream, Anita, I think, honestly, your scenes and your overlays. And then outside of that, it's how to engage with your audience. I'm going to go outside the box, and I'm going to say how to engage with your audience. Y'all see that I've got a very plain system that's going on right now. Like, yes, I've got a Sony ZV-E10. Yes, I have a Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens on it. Yes, the two of those cost $1,500 or so. And yes, I'm using a Mac Studio, but Ecamm Live runs on older Macs. Ecamm Live runs on basic webcams. You know, we actually know somebody who uses Ecamm Live, and I can't remember how many followers. I think it's over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And they're using a built-in MacBook Pro webcam on an aluminum stand, and they've got over 1 million subs. So you don't need all the technology. Back in the day, I would have said, "Oh, get all this stuff," but you don't need to do that nowadays. I'm gonna remove this because people might be like, "What deal? What deal's ending? What deal's ending? What's going on?" See that FOMO, right? So that is text overlay. That's a countdown overlay. Here is a camera overlay. So let's say here, start with what you got. That's right, Paul, start with what you got. It's more about your message than the actual technology that you're using, because most people don't know about that. So make sure you start off with the basics and go from there. You guys can see I've been playing with OBS here. All right, let's do this. That's my camera. Okay, so this is a camera overlay. You can see here, this is the button that has a little video camera on it. And you can see that I'm moving it around in real time. And I was able to choose different camera sources from here. So if you click on the little pencil icon, you can see that I can choose from camera A and B, and I'm going to get to that in a second, or the different camera sources that I have on the computer system. Now, camera A and B are placeholders, and then these are the fixed cameras themselves. So I've got a Decklink quad HDMI recorder in my system, and I've actually got 2 cameras connected to this. Let me just switch this one over. Let's see, I think it's this one. Nope. There, that one. Okay. So I can go ahead and switch this to this camera, and now you can see both of the front camera and the side camera. Now, this side camera that you're looking over here, this could be any camera that you have. If it's a USB webcam, it can be an overhead webcam, it could be a pet cam, it could be a camera that's, showing my backyard with the natural wildlife and the trees, or maybe the snowstorm that might be coming here in Canada. So this extra view allows people to see more of what's going on in your world. I think most of the people that I know of, they've been using this extra webcam for these overhead projections. So if I grab this camera, it could be an overhead projection, and it's me talking about this there it is, this Best Buy gift card that I found in my drawer that I'm trying to figure out if there's any value on it, right? So if you're like, oh, I'm talking about this Best Buy gift card, it's a great overhead cam. I was just working with Stu McLaren and built out his studio just the past few days, and we're using different cameras. We're actually using a 3/4 cam. He used to have an overhead camera, but we stopped using that because he's actually using the iPad and displaying that. Oops, sorry, I just disconnected my camera. We're actually showing his iPad directly onto the actual display itself. Anita, I love Stu McLaren courses. Well, if you love Stu McLaren courses, you got to join the new live streams he's doing right now. That live stream is something that studio I just built. I just built it. Anyway, that's some of the cool stuff. So this extra camera here can be used for many different things. One is, as you see here, or you can change this if you have an interview mode guest. So interview mode is a feature that allows you to bring in remote guests. So for example, if I was interviewing Doc, right, and Doc's over in Hawaii and I'm over here in Toronto, I could bring him into my production and another 9 guests. I can bring up a total of 10 people into my live stream production. Each of those guests shows up as a camera source, and I can add them all into my broadcasts. So this is where I was talking about understand what kind of scenes, what is it that you want your viewers to see? And if I know that I've got 9 guests and I kind of want this thing like a Brady Bunch, I can go ahead and put my camera in the middle, and let's say I do something like this, and then I can duplicate it, and then I can put them here, 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 and we can all be just one big Brady Bunch of a family, and this will be one of those scenes. So if you know what your scenes and what things are going to look like, you can pre-produce your scenes here. Now that I'm still talking about the camera overlays, this is something that's really cool. This launched with Ecamm Live 4.0. This is like a bug's eye view. I think this is what a bug's eye view looks like. Okay. You can, so, sorry, digress. With Ecamm Live 4.0, you can actually have camera placeholders now. And that essentially allows you to choose, you can see here, this camera switcher here. It allows you to go from all your sources on your cameras to what we call the placeholders, or AB. Right now it's AB, and then we can add additional placeholders, C and D and E and F and all those things. It allows you to add a camera source to each of your scenes, but if you needed to dynamically change the camera source for a number of scenes, I'm gonna do this. Some people are getting scared of 9 Daniels. New, front, new. Okay, if you had to create or change the camera source for a multitude of different scenes, then you can just change the camera source. So if you knew everywhere you put camera A onto, let's say 3 or 4 or 5 different scenes, you can just go in here and change that camera source, and it switches. You can just see it's just switched dynamically because this is camera A. And then if camera B was now this other camera, I can go and switch it there, and all of your scenes, the haunting of Ecamm, you can see that all of the scenes will change with that source. There's many reasons of why you would do this. Again, you can change the different source. Let's say, for example, you didn't necessarily want to change or the different scenes, and you wanted to just change the guest that was in it. Well, you can easily just change that guest multiple different ways, a little bit more advanced. But you could do something like that. Or one of the things that some of y'all might notice, so anybody who's using Ecamm for at least a day or more, and if you have more than one webcam or camera source on your Mac, sometimes when you reboot, you might notice that all of my cameras have switched. What do I do? And you get all frustrated, right? Who knows that? If that happens to you on your Mac inside of Ecamm Live and all of your camera sources have changed, that's where this camera source or switcher comes in, and the camera placeholders. That's where this comes into play, okay? So you want to start practicing this. All Ecamm 3 lovers, version 3 was amazing. Version 4 is like revolutionary. That's why it's got a whole new number. It's like, boom, right up there. And so I encourage you to go to all of your profiles, go into each and every single one of your scenes, and update what those placeholders are. So I'm going to go back to the bug view. Update each and every single one of these placeholders. Instead of using a direct camera source, switch it to the actual placeholder themselves. So that way, when you go and reboot your computer system, if that camera source has swapped or changed, you can easily update this. So take a look here. Let me get rid of that. You can see these guys here were camera A, and let's just make this camera B, and this one camera B. Okay, all I have to do is go into this camera switcher and switch the source. And you can see camera B's changed, and now camera A is going to change. Super simple. Practice this. Go right now into it keeps Daniel out of therapy. Yes. Go into your scenes and update this. Believe me, it's going to help and save a lot of gray hairs from cropping up on your head. All right, now that I switched that here. Okay, now, so that's your camera overlay, and then over here is essentially folder groups. This allows you to group a series of different overlays so that you can move them, but as well as hide and display them or show them all at the same time. So if I had, for example, text 1 and text 2 and text 3. So if I had these 3 things displaying, let's see that these are bullet points of what I'm going to be talking about. If you've got that, instead of saying hide, 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 or instead of saying show, 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 What you actually do is you move them all into a single folder, and you click the eyeball on the one folder and say hide and show. It basically puts them all together. So this is something that allows you to group and all of these overlays together and make them appear at the exact same time. So if y'all have a Stream Deck, oh no, can I switch my cable a little? One of these guys. Anyway, y'all know what a Stream Deck is, I think. I keep disconnecting my HDMI. Stream Deck is a button. It's basically a hotkey button, let's just put it that way. And it allows you to change your scenes, switch overlays. It allows you to do stuff without using your mouse and keyboard in a simple manner. So I'm just going to unplug my Stream Deck because I don't need it. This is what this is. This one's got 32 keys on it, and it connects directly with Ecamm Live. There's a plugin for it, and it is like the cat's meow of all cat's meows. So if you had to get something, if I got a cue and it said, "Hey Daniel, what's one accessory that you think you definitely should get for Ecamm Live?" It's this Stream Deck, hands down. It's the Stream Deck. Gotta get it. Let me see any other questions. No questions popped up. Oh, by the way, if anybody's joined us, thanks again for joining. This is a really quick, casual Ecamm demo. You can see this is completely casual. My name is Daniel. I have been using Ecamm for a long time, and today is really just to kind of show you some of the things that you can do inside of Ecamm Live. If you do have any questions, just to make sure that, the Paul Duncan, Mr. Moderator, doesn't go nuts, please make sure that when you're asking your question, put the letter Q and a colon in front of that, and then that will show up as a question. So you're going to do something like this. This is my question. Well, that's a statement and a question, but as an example. Okay, make sure you do something like that. That way we can actually see that it's actually a question and not a comment. All right, so that was a long time talking about overlays. That was like a heck of a long time. All right, the next section here is sound effects. So sound effects is exactly that. It could be a sound effect such as hold on. It could be sound effects such as a simple quick sound effect, or it could be something like a song, like I was playing when we had first started the live stream, right? Now these sounds here are simple MP3 files. I think you can also copy over some WAV files. You can have them in folders. So if you want to play specific folders, then you can go ahead and it will play every song in that folder, just like a playlist. You can also go and edit each and every single one of these. You can go ahead and edit one of these audio files by clicking on the little cogwheel. So it allows you to do a couple things. It allows you to change the volume of that specific song file. It allows you to repeat or loop that song file. It allows you to go ahead and add a hotkey. So if I knew, for example, let's see, the ba-dum-dum, if I wanted to make the hotkey B, then every time I hit the letter B, it plays that song or that sound effect. Okay, so you can go ahead and do something like that. This is something that's really, really neat. Or I can go ahead and add it to the scene. Now, let me go and show you what that looks like. So let's see the side one. If I want the side one and I can go ahead and drag it over into the scene. Okay, so every time I go ahead and move to the scene, that sound effect will play. Oh no, my camera keeps disconnecting. That didn't work out. Let me do that one more time just for all the fans. I can do this. All right, that worked out timing-wise. Okay, so that is basically what you can do with your sound effects. Now you can see, I'm going to move now into this section here. This is the sound levels panel. This panel here allows you to adjust the sound levels of each of the sources that are coming into Ecamm Live. Now, you are able to primarily bring in 1 or 2 audio sources, and that will vary depending upon, I guess, your configuration and your setup. I have a Rodecaster Pro 2. This one allows me to connect up to 4 musical devices or 4 microphones or a combination thereof. It allows me to connect virtual devices such as Bluetooth, Bluetooth iPads, phones, Bluetooth, anything that streams over Bluetooth. It allows me to bring in other virtual sources like other computer systems or maybe sound from my computer going to the Rodecaster, processed back through. So it allows you to do a lot of cool things. So as you can see here, that's this guy, the Rodecaster Pro 2 Chat. But you can see I can also select all of the other different audio sources that are available on my specific computer system. These may or may not show up on your computer, so just do keep that in mind. It's dependent upon what configuration or what devices you have connected to your computer. So if I knew that camera A is the camera that you're looking at, and if I was connecting my microphone directly to the Sony ZV-E10, then I can go ahead and choose camera A as that microphone source. Just remember though, if I go to the camera switcher and change that camera, that audio source is going to switch dynamically. This is something that's kind of neat for people who have different devices that are connected to their computer and they want to change the source of what's coming in. Again, a little bit more advanced, but that gives you an idea of that. And there goes my dog again because someone's at the door. These are my direct cameras as well, and then obviously the Rodecaster Pro 2. Okay, so let's see here. So then you've got a couple of other sections here. Oh, sorry. If you have more than one physical device that you want audio coming into your computer for Ecamm, you can go ahead and click this little plus sign.
And that brings in a second audio source. So if I had my iPhone connected by Lightning, the computer system will recognize that iPhone that's connected as long as it's trusted, and the iPhone will actually appear here. So if I had sound effects playing on my iPhone, or if I had licensed music that I was allowed to play through my live broadcast, I can go ahead and play that. As an example, if I have Spotify playing and I've licensed the music, I can hit play on my iPhone, and then that music is going to come through to Ecamm Live as an additional audio source.
And I can independently adjust the audio to... Oh, you guys are probably hearing a couple of different things. Sorry. Anyway, let me remove that. You'll be able to hear both audio sources come in simultaneously, and yeah. Then you will do that here. So if you wanted that music really, really soft, I'm going to do this. If you wanted that music really soft, then you're going to bring that volume meter down so that it's not overpowering the sound of your voice. You guys are cracking me up. Quit cracking me up. Now you guys know this show's live. And then if you want to hear the second audio source, like sometimes, you want to hear the music that you're playing through your iPad, your connected iPad, or your iPhone. Like a lot of clients, that's what I have them doing. Like, for example, I was just mentioning Stu, he's got his iPhone. He plays Spotify when he's using Ecamm Live through Zoom. And so for Zoom people, he'll play the Spotify music and that will come through. Now, by default, it's going through to the broadcast, but not through to his own speakers or his headset. And that's why I didn't notice that I had this up and you guys were hearing 2 microphones, but I didn't hear it because I didn't click on this playthrough button. That's what this playthrough checkbox is here. You can see here, it's like, are you sure? This is like warning me, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to mess around with the system right now. 3 goals in the first inning. Inning. I said inning. I should just stop this live stream now. Sorry. Just kidding. The playthrough button allows you to hear what that second source is. So I'm going to disable that because I don't want you guys to hear the scary sounds of 2 voices of me. The movie section here, remember the third button here, if you're playing a video file on the computer system through Ecamm, this movie volume slider allows you to adjust that one, and your sound effects are any of the sounds that come through here. So I can go ahead and be playing this song, but let's just say I had this song in the background, and I just want to, speak with y'all, and I don't like the dead silence. So y'all can just be rocking your head like this while Daniel's completely silent. You could do that if you wanted to. So Just remember that your audio meters are going to be very important. You see, my microphone is just hitting just into the yellow side, which means that this is actually a very good audio level that's going out to your computer systems. If you know that your microphone is running a little bit too hot and you can't control it, let's say for example it's through your webcam that has no volume meter on it or volume fader or slider on it, then you can just go ahead and move this down. Now you can see that my voice is quieted down. So do keep an eye on these actual green meters themselves. You definitely do not want to go into the red zone, because if you are, your audience is gonna have some problems with that. So let's not do that. ESE doesn't let me find the song on Epidemic Sound. Why, you like that song? Here. Oh, a tease. It says ease. Okay, here it goes. Ease with the Breeze, okay, by Tape Machines. Very good song. Epidemic Sound, by the way, folks, excellent audio source for music that is licensable for pennies a day, is honestly what it is. George asks, does Ecamm Live have a ducking feature? Generally speaking, it does, depending on what you're talking about. Like, so for example, if I have interview guests on, I'm primary, I will cause them to duck. But if I'm playing this music that Mr. Moderator likes, you can hear that my voice is going to duck the music a little bit, but it doesn't really, you can't control the amount of ducking, and it's not going to cause it to duck a significant amount. Let me know if you hear the voice, is the music ducking as I'm talking? I know the music is a little bit louder, but let me know. Is it ducking? Yes. If it's ducking, I want you to put a duck. If it's not ducking, I want you to put the word no. All right, so that'll be interesting what we actually see in the chat comments coming up. All right, no ducking. Oh, there was no ducking. Okay, but you still heard my voice though, and that's so there, as I said, there's a little bit of a minor ducking that I believe does happen. No duck. I was really hoping to see some duck emojis, but no ducking. I believe it does change a little bit. Is there a compression filter like OBS? Compression filter like OBS, I'm not sure actually if it has that. I don't think it does. That's actually a question I don't know. Anybody else? Doc, are you still there? Do you know if Ecamm has a audio compression filter like OBS? Duck, no. Chicken. Ooh, George. Chicken. Now you're making me hungry. Here is, I want to get back on track here. I think this show's been going sidetracked for a little bit. I apologize. But anyway, use echo cancellation is a great feature for those of you who do not like to wear these things on your head during your recording or during your live streams if you're playing sound through your own speakers. So for example, this echo cancellation is going to be used if you play music. Or if you're playing a movie that's coming and you can hear the audio coming through your speakers and you don't want them to be picked up by your microphone, then you're going to have to enable this echo cancellation. Your echo cancellation for here, it also should be used if you're using interview mode guests and you're listening to them through your actual speaker system as well. I would just enable that as well. But if you want really great audio sound and stuff like that, I always recommend get these guys on or get some hidden headphones that go in your ears and around your back of your head and back of your neck. That way they're not necessarily visible, like wearing, the Apple earpods and stuff like that, draping down from your ears. So that is the audio piece here. Interview mode is what I had mentioned before. Like if you're bringing on guests, you can go ahead. I can enable interview mode, and Ecamm Live 4.0 now brings up to 10 remote guests into your broadcast. 10, I just said 10. That's a huge amount of people. Now, granted, I do believe you're going to need a pretty powerful Mac and a pretty good internet connection. So don't think that your 10 megabit connection or your Starlink connection is going to do great with that many guests on board. This is definitely something you're going to have to test, so do keep that in mind. But to have the ability to bring on 10 guests is pretty phenomenal. So Most of the time I usually bring on 4, maybe 5 guests, and that's pretty much about it. And that's usually because I'm doing the remote production. So I'm not even part of it. I'm just managing the system itself. And I can bring them all in. Everybody's happy. They're coming in some full glorious video. It's a great, cool thing. Now, please do note that interview mode does only exist with the Ecamm Live Pro subscription, not any of the standard subscriptions. So do keep that in mind. It's not, you do have to have a paid subscription for that at the Pro level. If anybody's joining us and they haven't used Ecamm Live and they're wondering, will Ecamm Live work on my Mac? The answer, generally speaking, is yeah, it really should work on your Mac. Obviously, the faster, more powerful, and the more newer your Mac is, it's going to work a lot better. So if you've got the M1s or any of the M2s, hands down, yes, it's going to work. Don't even bother asking us, will my M1 MacBook Pro, would Ecamm work on it? Yeah, it's going to. Side note, a lot of people are asking, does Ecamm Live work on my M1 MacBook Air? The answer is yes, it will. However, the more you stress your MacBook Air, the hotter it's going to get, and that MacBook Air will throttle its CPU and GPU, meaning that it's going to slow everything down. So that can actually affect your live stream. So please do keep in mind, if you do not have a Mac yet and you're like, I'm getting a Mac because I love Ecamm Live, this is my personal opinion. This is not an opinion of Ecamm Network or any other Ecamm fan members, maybe some others, but my personal opinion is do not get the MacBook Air for your live streams. Get something that has an actual active cooling fan. So that's the MacBook Pro, 13-inch MacBook Pro M1 and higher. And then obviously, the M1 Studio Ultra is totally overkill. Can you get it? Sure, it's going to last you longer, but it's really overkill right now. If anybody is wondering, I'm actually using a Mac Studio M1 Max, 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU with 64 gigs of RAM, and I have a 4 terabyte SSD in here. And it's been phenomenal. It's allowed me to bring in a lot of people into all of my live streams and never had any issues with that. Let's see. Honest Accomplice, so you're saying you don't have AT&T internet. That is correct. I do not have AT&T internet. I'm actually in Canada, so we don't have it up here. But I don't have fiber internet. And while you don't need fiber, it sure is nice to have it. Let's see. George, I just signed up for 2 gig fiber in preparation of getting it up and running with Ecamm Live. Dang, 2 gig fiber synchronous? That's awesome. Hey, let me show you a couple things. I'm going to go into the camera effects in a second, but I want to show this one cool thing. Under Ecamm Preferences, if you go into your Stream tab, you can actually see what the requirements are for Ecamm Live running at the resolution and the rate that you're streaming at. So I'm actually streaming today at 1080p 60 FPS. I should actually be doing 4K. I forgot I left this at 1080p. But this only requires 8.2 megabits per second upload. That's one 1080p 60 frame per second video. However, the built-in speed test to Ecamm Live shows that my bandwidth available in the upstream on my service is 52.8. So the answer is, can I run one stream coming out of my Ecamm Live at 1080p 60? Absolutely yes. Can I run 2? Yes, I can. Can I run 4? Yes, I can. 5, I'm probably getting a little bit close to my comfort level. 6, it's like, yeah, even though 48.9 is less than 52.8, I have no overhead for anything else. Personally, I would not do that. But what does this mean? This actually means you can go live to multiple destinations. This is one of those cool features of Ecamm Live. You can now multi-stream, and you don't need those third-party services. I just realized that I've got these numbers up, and people are like, what is this guy talking about numbers? Is he Count Chocula? So you don't need to get those third-party licenses to stream to multiple locations, right? You can actually go to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram Live if you have an Instagram Live account, because it's not enabled for everybody. LinkedIn, RTMP destinations. You can do all of these things simultaneously at the same time, and your computer system is going to send your signal and broadcast to each and every single one of those channels. So that is something that saves a lot of money. Like, I mean, I'm talking hundreds of dollars a year for other services that do multi-streaming, and you don't need that now with Ecamm Live 4.0. Just make sure, you know, you've got your good subscription going on with Ecamm and go ahead and multi-stream. So anyway, that is what I've got over there. IG Live is a pain in the you-know-what. If you're, well, yeah, I guess. I don't have Instagram Live enabled on my account, but for those of you who do, I know that there are several people who use Ecamm and they are actually going live to IG, and it's been a blast for them. But I guess it just depends. It just depends on, you know, what you're expecting. I can't wait to get started on it, but I don't have it yet. Gotta wait a little bit longer. It only allows a vertical display. Absolutely, that's correct. It will cut your video and stuff like that. Okay, let's carry on before I finish off the day, because we're just at the top of the hour. Might go a little bit over. Sorry, folks, if I'm going a little bit longer than your lunch. Okay, the camera effects window. This is over yonder over here. This essentially allows you to, and my deck link is now acting up because I just did something. Oh, my camera source just died. Don't worry about it. Camera effects window allows you to change the view or the look on each and every single one of the cameras that are coming in, or any of the video sources. So it could be an interview mode guest that maybe you need to crop in a little bit, or maybe they're using a green screen or things like that. So you can see here that this is camera A, and I've got camera A selected. And if I had a green screen behind me, I can go ahead and enable this. I can change it to a blue screen if it was a blue screen. I can adjust the amount of level or the sensitivity to the color green. So if I can basically, instead of a big fringy, I can really tighten in on the actual chroma keying and to get it really, really looking sharp. I can go ahead and use some different backdrops that are built into Ecamm, or I can go ahead and choose my own video background file or a video file as well. Or I can make it go transparent, and allows me to kind of like have a floating Daniel on a video presentation or a PowerPoint presentation, things like that. You can also go ahead and blur whatever background that is. So if you've got a green screen, you do have to, this is not like Zoom, you do need a physical green screen. So whether it's a green cloth or green wall or a true green screen backdrop, when that's enabled, you are able to use this feature. And so if you wanted that slightly blurry background, that little bokeh look, you can go ahead and enable that and then adjust the amount of blur in that background. And maybe on the next time, if I'm invited back to show an Ecamm demo, I'll go ahead and use my green screen so you can see how good or bad it can actually get. Let's see, honest accomplice. So you can't use your whole screen. Oh, that's back to Instagram Live, yeah. All right, I can also zoom and pan, and this is scene independent. However, I can also just save it as a default to enable that zoom and pan across all of the different scenes that use that very specific camera. So you can see here, I'm enabling it, and you can see here in the actual preview window, I can zoom in if I really want to get in tight, and I can move around. I can do stuff like that. And there's a lot of cool things that you can actually do with this. Let's do this. I'm going to move this guy down here, and I'm going to say this is emphasis. So you can see emphasis and front new. It's the exact same camera view. But if I go to emphasis, I think this should work. And I go to emphasis. I can say, hey, this is the Ecamm Live demo. Dig it. And then I can go back. That was my emphasis cam. So if you don't have more than one camera, you can use the exact same camera, but use that zoom and pan source as that emphasis. So, or as that, slight different variant. So, if you wanted to go ahead and do jump cuts on your own, you can do something like that. Now, I showed you with a fade, but I can go ahead and get rid of that fade and go transition, no transition. So it's literally like a true jump cut. Boom. Oh, sorry, hold on. I got to change this one too. Front new. Transition, no transition. So it's literally like a legit jump cut. It's like, hey, hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about the Ecamm Live Demo, and then switch back. You can do stuff like that. You can also adjust all of the brightness, temperature, tint, all of those different things as well. Obviously, from a more professional perspective, I'd rather do this in camera if possible, but in some situations you actually want to do this as a stylistic feature. So if I wanted to really oversaturate this one and say, it's really hot over here in Toronto, Canada, then you can use this as that, because you can't do that inside your camera. So you can have all of these different things. And one cool thing here, LUTs, so lookup tables. This allows you to use your, I'm going to call them LUTs. Use certain types of configuration files that are like automatic filters. So if you search LUT on, in your favorite search engine browser, you search LUT, you're going to see all of these different sample LUT files that people have created. Many of them are free, many of them are paid, but you can also create them on your own. Like you can create it in Photoshop as an example. Where LUTs really kind of make your video look very unique and very, very professional. So if you know how to use Photoshop, and if you know how to edit and change your the way that things look by using different type, contrast, the exposure, the gamma, like all of those things in Photoshop, you can actually export those settings as a LUT and then apply it to your video so that I can completely make it look cinematic if I wanted to. So these are a little bit more advanced features, but I'm telling you, like, this is some really cool stuff that you can do. If anybody who's more advanced user and knows how to use log videos, so for example, these Sony cameras have S-Log, Canons have C-Log. Essentially, it's a way of recording the video file in a very dynamic range. Like by default, it will look kind of grayed out and muddy, but what it's actually doing is it's recording a lot more data and information than it would typically be doing in a non-log recording. And what happens is if you bring that camera in, enable that log, it's going to look gray. But when you enable the LUT, all of a sudden you've got this cinematic look to your live streams. So that's something I'm going to say for the advanced users and the people who really want to play around with the video look and feel. Look up LUTs and go and see what you can create. And I encourage you to join us in the Facebook Ecamm Live community and post that. Upload that video, upload that screenshot of that video, and just show us what you've been able to do with those LUTs. Lastly, the other camera options here, you can mirror yourself. Personally, I don't use that feature. You can go ahead and quickly turn it black and white, so it's like looking like old school. I kind of like using this black and white in some of the countdown timers that I use. That way people know that it's really not the full live stream, but that's just me. You can go ahead and do sepia tone, or you can go ahead and add a blur to this one in order for me to add something else. Like maybe this was actually my countdown timer and I had that running on top of this blur. So you know that don't focus on me, focus on the timer or anything like that. So you can do stuff like that. Now I can go ahead and rotate. That look interesting. You can go ahead and rotate it 90 degrees back and forth, specific to this scene, or you can hit this button that says apply to all scenes. So if I go ahead and apply to all scenes, like let's say I go back to my emphasis scene here. If I say to apply to all scenes, it's going to confirm that. And now I go back to front new. It's the same, the exact same settings that I had here for this specific camera A are saved to that. So if I just go ahead and undo this scene and it's back to the normal camera zoom, you'll see that it didn't affect this one unless I hit apply to all scenes. And set default camera just occurs when you're creating a new scene. If you have camera set as the default source for that scene, it'll just choose this specific camera. So that is the camera effects window. Now I've just gone over the basics. So I remember Anita was asking, what are the first 3 things that you should learn if you're just starting out? And I'd mentioned understanding the scenes and understanding your overlays. And the third one obviously is just getting really good at and comfortable of being able to speak, having content, like knowing what your content is going to be, looking in the camera. That's a big one. Even to this day, sometimes I struggle because I don't know why, but I want to look at myself. I guess I must be too used to using Zoom, and people are looking at it that way. So you don't want to do a live stream like this. You definitely don't want to do that unless I know that I'm typing something and it's on a screen. Okay. Now I want to finish off by just sharing this. Ecamm Live is a phenomenal tool. Remember I said it's great for live streaming. It's great for recorded video content that's live to drive. And right, Eden. And then the other thing is that you can create the most amazing Zoom experiences, or Microsoft Teams or whatever those things are called. But Zoom is probably the most common one. Imagine, most people use Zoom and it's just this, and then they go to the screen share, and there's nothing that they really have that makes you stand out. But with Ecamm Live, we have this thing called virtual camera and virtual microphone. And what that does is when those are installed and enabled on Ecamm Live, that allows you to go into Zoom, and Zoom will take your camera from Ecamm Live, your video source from Ecamm Live. So whatever is showing in here, excuse me, let's say for example, I've got these numbers again, 1, 2, and 3. Whatever's showing in this program window will actually show up on your Zoom video. So imagine the possibilities. You can now add lower thirds, you can have scrolling tickers, you can have countdown timers, you can do everything that you would normally do in your video or sending it out. You can go ahead and use the video source in Ecamm to send that out to Zoom. And all you need to do is enable this guy, virtual camera. Now, virtual camera also is a pro feature, I do believe, or pro subscription on Ecamm Live. And then the virtual microphone, which basically in Zoom, you choose Ecamm Live virtual camera, and in the audio section, you choose Ecamm Live virtual mic. And so all of the songs and sounds and music and the sound effects from Ecamm Live go straight into your Zoom broadcast. However, do keep in mind, if some of you go ahead and practice that, you will probably notice that Zoom mutes out or literally mutilates music as you're playing it through Ecamm Live. Just know this. Go into your Zoom audio settings and enable original sound. That will ensure that it is not processing the audio for voice only. It is now allowing you to go ahead and play sound effects and music through Zoom. Shakanulu says, to go live with Ecamm Live and Zoom, are you just sharing the Zoom screen with the audio? No, what you're doing is you're feeding Zoom. So let me go into my Zoom account here, or my Zoom app, and it's somewhere. There it is. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go into settings. All right, so you can see here, these are my Zoom settings. So in the video, you choose Ecamm Live Virtual Cam, because normally I would just choose the camera source. But if I want Ecamm Live to come through to Zoom, you're going to do that. You see, this bottom window is what the broadcast is, but I'm enabling what we call demo mode, so you can see everything that I'm doing inside of Ecamm. So this is what people in Zoom would see. They would be able to see whatever I'm showing. So if I disabled, demo mode, you can see 1, 2, and 3. So this is the camera part. Now the audio part, you can see here when I go to audio. Now, here we go. When I go to audio, you choose Ecamm Live Virtual Mic. And this means that everything that I play through my Ecamm Live production, including my microphone, is going to go over to Zoom. So if you play music or sound effects, or you want to really amp up that Zoom experience for your attendees, this is what you need to do. Enable virtual cam, enable virtual mic, and pump that video and that audio through to Zoom. But remember one thing here. Yes, Shaka Nulu. Hey, welcome to the Ecamm fam. All right, everybody, please give it up for Shaka Nulu. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, by the way. But welcome to the fam. I'm telling you, you're going to love this app. You're going to love it, love it, love it. Make sure to join our Facebook group. Agree to the rules, join it, get in there, start searching around, see what other people are doing, get inspired. You are going to love this app. It's going to completely change the game, man, I'm telling you. But when you're going to play your audio, sound effects, or music through Ecamm Live and go to Zoom, make sure you go into this audio section here. By default, it says Zoom optimized audio. You do not want that. Zoom optimized audio essentially means that Zoom is going to listen only for your voice. Anything else that's happening in the background, a dog barking, music that's playing is all going to be filtered out. You need to go to here, original sound for musicians. This third option here, live performance audio, that's brand new. That's still in beta. Yeah, you can play with that if you want. I think it's very similar. But go to original sound for musicians. And what's going to happen here is any music that you play will play perfectly fine without compression, without manipulation, or any filtering from Zoom. I always suggest enable high fidelity music mode, enable echo cancellation if you're not using a headset, and then stereo audio if the music that you're transferring is in stereo. Otherwise, you can go make it mono. I don't think most people in Zoom are going to notice. The only time I don't use echo cancellation is if I know I'm using a headset on my end. That way, stuff that's coming back out is not going to be fed back in to my microphone. But I got to tell you, Zoom's echo cancellation is top notch. So these are the settings. Take a picture. This is how you would configure your Zoom in order for you to have a really cool experience of sending your Ecamm Live video and audio through to Zoom. Oh yeah, Discord too. Thanks, Paul. Like Discord, join our Discord group as well. Links, information, all is in the chat section there. Folks, this has been an amazing journey. I appreciate every single one of you for joining me today. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. Thank you for being interested in Ecamm Live. We do these live demos regularly, so go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Or if you don't want to subscribe to our channel because you're a little bit shy right now, that's completely okay. You can just go ahead and just take a look at our YouTube channel, join our Facebook community, join our Discord community, take a look at what we're about. Like when we say hashtag Ecamm fam, we legitimately mean it. Like this is a family. We're all here to encourage each other. We're all here to inspire each other. And we're all here to help each other level up your game of your content creation. So whether you're live streaming, whether you're recording your video, whether you're doing a video podcast or just an audio podcast, Ecamm Live is the #1 app in the entire world that allows you to do all that. And it's super, super powerful, but yet at the same time, it's really, really easy to learn. So I'm gonna I'm gonna do my whole outro now, and it sounds like I'm putting the music out. And that's what I'm doing. So this has been great. Thank you again. Leap Into Live starts selling Monday. Join Leap Into Live. Link is in the chat in the conversation right now. Valerie, Eden, Paul, Shakanulu, Tessie, thank you all for joining me today in this Ecamm Live demo. We will see you again on the next one. Take care. Bye.